How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this beat shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit, it's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we can take it and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngers pull their pants up? How long we gon' keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gon' keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beat stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Provoked Thoughts. And we are in the building tonight on a Monday. Man, oh man, do we have us one today. We got more to talk about. We always got something to talk about, but we're going to talk about it today, man. Black men, white men, all men need you to listen because it's true. We are absolutely under attack right now. It takes nothing for someone to make an allegation and drag it through court and sue you. I'm talking about for everything. And it's crazy because we sit here as men and we've been emasculated in this country to a degree of the fact that we want to be in women's sports in their bathrooms, some of us. And it's getting kind of crazy. It's getting kind of hectic out here. The news came down earlier today about Shannon Sharpe being sued in a civil case, I believe, for $50 million for a rocky consensual relationship, people. And accused of sexual assault, graping somebody, doing some very, very interesting things he was accused of that's really, really similar to what we have been discussing for almost 6 years now. And it's amazing to me, man. It is amazing to me to see this happen repeatedly. To see, the reaction of people who allow for the court of public opinion to skew their thought processes. I do believe personally that there's no way that a high profile case can get a fair trial in America. The reason is because of the fact that it takes them years to actually prosecute. And then within those years, the media machine is nationwide, smearing a person's name or invoking their opinion in it and not any facts and not doing any corrections or anything like that. So if people get what they get and they go with that, and you have a mass of people who believe the media, of course, we've spoken on this 1,000 times. They believe everything that they say. So we're going to dive into it a little bit and just see what's going on with Shannon, man. Shout out to Shannon Sharpe, man. I hope, and once I reveal some of the stuff that I've seen recently after doing a little research, we're gonna see what's going on for real. And we're gonna really, really kind of chop this one up a little bit and see how everybody feels about Shannon Sharpe, his situation and the similarities, and how closely his allegations are to those of Faith Rogers in the R. Kelly case. Later on in this evening, Big Vi will be joining us, hopefully. I spoke with him earlier, and he on his live, and he told me that he would be here. So I would hope that he would be here. If it's your first time coming to my channel, make sure that you like, make sure you share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of each time that I go live. Been around doing this for a second, but went away for a minute, but I am back and I am ready to go. It seems like that they're not going to stop. So, maybe I shouldn't stop. So let's keep it moving. Let's see what we got here.
Okay. So on today's video, we got to talk about Shannon Sharpe. It's looking like Shannon Sharpe responded to the viral news that came out about him recently. That news had broke earlier. Everybody was reporting on it, talking about it. And yeah, man, in my opinion, I thought this is no surprise because we just seen the news earlier this week. Shannon Sharpe, as you guys can see right here, he has signed this big media contract for his podcast. Shannon Sharpe eyes a $100 million podcast deal as volume contract expires.
So we talking about $100 million, and Shorty coming for half. Ain't that something? Now, if you look at the headline, it says Shannon Sharpe eyes a $100 million podcast deal as volume contract expires. So he's about to get $100 million because Club Shay is fat. It's dramatic. It's a lot of drama involved, of course, but it stay cracking. Cat Williams is kind of the guy that kind of got the ball rolling on having to tell Diddy no. So Club Shay been doing his thing. The man has been on an uprise. He done ran afoul to a few people in this situation when it comes to, leaving Undisputed with Skip and, moving on to, what he moved on to as far as going to ESPN and starting his own show on YouTube. Very hot on YouTube. And then he has the show with Ocho Cinco that does really, really well as well. So he is doing a good job out there as far as bringing forth content and making sure that everything is where it needs to be for people. It's a little messy sometimes. He had Kamala Harris on there, didn't ask Trump to come on there. Don't know what that was about, but I can only assume. So we're gonna reserve judgment on him. Not because of his belief system, just because in this country you are innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. So we will look at this for what it is. If it turns into nothing, it turns into nothing. If it turns into the scandal of the century, we will be here for it.
Sources tell Front Office Sports the Pro Football Hall of Famer has received multiple offers and is expected to sign a deal that would exceed $100 million. Shannon Sharpe partnered with the Volume in August 2023, several months after leaving FS1 Undisputed. Club Shay immediately took off to become one of the biggest podcasts in sports entertainment, particularly YouTube, where it's a juggernaut. Nightcat with co-host Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson also has a considerable audience. But yeah, man, Shannon Sharpe is near signing a $100 million deal for Club Shay and Nightcat. When I saw this allegation come out and then I saw how much money this person was suing for $50 million, it was like, okay, this has to be one of his jump offs, somebody that he was allegedly freaking with, right? He stopped talking to him, and they just recently seen this news that Shannon Sharpe is about to sign a $100 million deal. Because why did this person feel like they need to come out and sue Shannon Sharpe?
So that's about right. And that's about how I feel. I mean, I feel like why would you even come out and say anything if you didn't, why? What's the point in that? That's absolutely crazy. It's cattywampus. It makes no sense to me. All of a sudden this man got $100 million on the table and you come for 50 million. But we're going to get into all of that. Let's keep it moving for a second.
For $50 million, right? So as you guys can see right here, here's the report that I want to show you guys before I show you guys Shannon Sharpe's response. So this report came out earlier today. New York Post posted it, and it said Shannon Sharpe accused of rape and $50 million lawsuit after rocky consensual relationship. As you can see, it says Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe has been accused of rape by a woman under the name Jane Doe in a 13-page, $50 million civil lawsuit filed Sunday and obtained by the Post. Like I said, this suit was filed Sunday. And of course, guys, the reports of Shannon Sharpe about to sign his $100 million media podcast deal was April 18th, which was a couple of days ago. So that person saw that, and then they felt like they needed to try to jump in front of some money, this opportunity to sue Shannon Sharpe because they know that he is about to sign this $100 million contract for his media deals for Club Shay and Nightcap.
Yeah, I better believe that, man. That's crazy. It's like she came out of nowhere as soon as some money got involved, and we're gonna find out, whether she is, the truth or straight up skeezer. We're gonna find out. Skeezer, that's 1990 something word. We gonna keep that going.
But that's the report right here, guys. As you can see, Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $50 million. The report was filed Sunday. I don't want to go further along with that, but let me give you guys Shannon Sharpe's response. As you can see right here, guys, this is Shannon Sharpe's Twitter account, and he had put out these statements right here. He put out 2 pages of a statement, and I'll just pull it up right here, guys. Pretty much what Shannon Sharpe had put out, he is putting out showing that how.
I know y'all can't see that. So what we gonna do is we gonna go ahead and flip the screen real fast, and I'm gonna show you exactly what happened. What had happened was, it's crazy, man. I promise you, it is crazy. So I might have to zoom in so y'all can see this. So just give me a second, because I want y'all to see this and see this good. See it good, man. You got to see this for what it is. If you all can see it, I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. So it says, statement by Lanny J. Davis, counsel to Shannon Sharpe. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you blank me. Okay. Gabriella Zuniga in a text message to Shannon Sharpe, October 2nd, 2023. I know you missed this big juicy ass. $25K for each cheek. Y'all hit it? So, she all about the bag from what we can see. Okay. And, this lawsuit was filed by Gabriella Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby. Now, where have we heard that name before? We heard that name in the Jay-Z lawsuit, I believe, that was recently dropped. Tony Busby is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed. In her effort to extract a large financial settlement, Ms. Zuniga presented Mr. Sharpe with a secretly recorded video of a consensual sexual encounter. Sound familiar? We believe the video has been heavily edited and taken entirely out of context, crafted to falsely portray a consensual act as non-consensual. Ms. Zuniga has refused to provide a copy of the full unedited version of the recording to Mr. Sharpe's legal team. Wow, that's crazy. She ain't even giving up the tape. To set the record straight, we are releasing several of Ms. Zuniga's own explicit messages to Sharpe that clearly indicate the nature of their relationship was consensual and sexual in nature, and in many cases initiated by her with specific and graphic requests. Contrary to allegations she makes in her lawsuit, consensual sex continued until January 2nd of 2025. The day after she asked for $25,000 per cheek, as quoted in her text messages to Sharpe. There are other examples of these texts from Ms. Zuniga. That is crazy, people. Ladies and gentlemen, please get in the chat and say hello to your boy so I can say hello to y'all. If it's your first time coming in, if you are on YouTube or you are on X, please take the time to like, share, subscribe, hit notification bells, tell your friends. We are going to get into this, okay? So it goes on, and here's a text message. Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want. You can do whatever you want to me. Trying to get pregnant. The next text says, I want to put my tongue in your. She trying to fill out his grocery list and then marry. Boy. Oh my goodness. Say that's my daddy. F. I want you to put that big black baby in me. Hmm. Wow, she's something else. Let's see. You better crave it because you're gonna be stuck with me for life after you put a big black baby in me. Wow. I'm doing fine, Diane. I am doing fine. I am so glad to hear from you. Glad you're watching. Thank you very much. Wow, she is off the hook. So these text messages are just a sample of a broader pattern of graphic sexual communications initiated by Ms. Zuniga. The evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios explicitly requested by Ms. Zuniga. The edited tape that Ms. Zuniga secretly taped and showed to Mr. Sharpe during her blackmail attempt tries to falsely portray as a result of sexual activity was not consensual. But Mr. Sharpe now believes her secret taping was all a part of a plan set up as part of her blackmail scheme, as distorted by her edited tape, a copy of which she refused to make available to Sharpe or his counsel. Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of you know what, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious blackmail attempt. He stands firmly by the truth and is prepared to fight these false claims vigorously in court. He looks forward to vindication through due process and a judgment based on the facts and the law. So, those text messages was kind of hot. You know, what pains me about text messages is the fact that it did not matter what these women text R. Kelly, what their mamas text them. It just didn't matter. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, in this instance, that real justice actually prevails, you know, with somebody who's actually making these allegations but sending text messages about how she want to fill out the man's grocery list. Absolutely nasty lady. You know, she's filthy. But yet you get in a relationship, sexual in nature or whatever it is, from 2023 to 2025, you know, a year and some change from what I'm looking at. And then, you know, you try to extort and you talk about $25,000 per butt cheek. So you're literally selling yourself. And when it don't work out for you, you're trying to sue this man for half of what he was about to make on this deal. What is all of that about? What is all of that about? That is the craziest thing that I've ever seen. And we live in a world right now where hopefully people are waking up to the foolishness and realizing that you cannot just sit here and believe all women just because they say what they say, because this sounds silly. It sounds absolutely silly, and I don't think that it'll get higher than the ground. I hope that this lady don't get no dollar, because if your first act with a person, which is what they said in her allegations, was consensual, and then you went back and got attacked twice, interesting. But we can go back to other cases and see where the man still went to jail. Literally. Mr. Ricky Beatty, how you doing? What's going on? Good evening to you, sir. Good to have you in here. We are actually having a conversation right now with regards to Shannon Sharpe and his allegations of sexual assault and the R word. And it's not looking like he did too much wrong, brother. It's crazy. It makes no sense. I mean, can you all see these text messages, man? Can you see them? I mean, do you see them? Jeez. This lady laid it all out on the line in these text messages. I wonder if, even if he responded, so what? She's trying to get pregnant by this man. or that's her goal or ambition. It's a trap in some way with her. She was either trying to get pregnant by this man so that she could, have a check for life for 18 years, or if that didn't work out, she was going to extort him for bread. Sounds awful familiar to a lot of things that we've heard before. And it is a shame that we still dealing with the same things that we was dealing with back when R. Kelly got locked up today, when Bill Cosby got locked up today, when Mike Tyson got locked up, we still dealing with it today. People can say whatever they want to say about you. You can't defend yourself, really, unless you just blatantly expose them. And it depends on how much the world hates you. So whether people will believe it or not. And that's the crazy part about it. If people hate you enough, they don't care what nobody say positive about you. They'll believe everything negative. You could do something positive right in front of their face, and guess what? They'll remember the negative. So, like I said, Shannon Sharpe, it happens, bro. It happens, and it's crazy. But you literally with a woman half your age, and you let it be known out there, that you freaky like that. You know what I'm saying? You like a freaky woman. You said that, and that's tough, man. You can't, it's tough because that's a no-go, even though we live in a freaky world. It's just tough. It's crazy because you get all of these people, all of these freaks out here, but men, like I said, the emasculation of men. This has been the plan. This is what it is about. You can't beat them. That's what they think. And if you can't beat them, a lot of them feel like join them. I ain't joining no foolishness. Can't go for that. And I can't really go for this one. This one right here don't seem like nothing. I mean, in the opinion of the chat of what's going on with y'all, and y'all opinion, I mean, to me, this sounds like garbage. It just sounds like garbage. And it's hard to understand how people can be so caught up with the mess that they can't see it is garbage. It is absolute trash. We got Diddy out here, he locked up and they superseding indictments and, putting their case together basically while he's in jail. That sounds familiar. And it's crazy because, like I said, it brings back that old feeling a little bit sometimes, how I felt when, they first got to fooling with R. Kelly and things like that. And then all you got to do is follow the money. You ain't got to follow it far. With this one, you didn't have to follow it far. Okay, he working out a deal. This comes out on April 18th. Here we are. It's April 21st. And he is getting sued for half. Wow. And you mean to tell me if you can't pick up on that, you just don't have a connected brainstem? You absolutely don't. I mean, you can't. I mean, you just can't. If you can look at this and look at what this woman said to this man and be like, oh, he did it. He did it. He did all of the nasty stuff that she asked for him to do. She wanted baby gravy. She wanted the dog collar. She wanted to be handled like that. And a lot of people fail to understand that. The people that some women in this world like it real rough and real ridiculous and downright disrespectful at times. When it comes down to that, but when it comes down to how they like it in the bedroom. They don't want no dude coming up in there playing around. You be about your business, up against the wall. You know what I'm saying? Freeze, let me frisk you. You got any contraband on you? All type of stuff, man. All type of stuff. Choke, slap. It's. I'm telling you, it's if you live in a world where you think that none of this stuff happens, and somebody wanted to have, both people want it to happen, then you're crazy. It's more people that's like that nowadays that want it to happen than don't. People's levels are up because you social media, all you see all day is somebody's behind shaking somewhere. And look at old Shannon. Shannon almost 60 and getting caught up like this. Ain't never really the young dudes. It's the old cats caught up like that. You got this stuff all in your face every single day, and people act like that these women don't like it rough, don't like it filthy. But we can clearly see, J-Rock, what's going on. I need you in the live right now. I need you, brother. I need you. I get to have you here with me, brother. Good to see you. And we're going to talk about these ironies. We told you so. Yes, we did. We told you so. And the crazy thing about it is, me and Big Vi were talking earlier today on his live about this whole scenario and how it seems like they can't come up with nothing new. Can't come up with nothing new. Apparently, Shannon Sharpe, and this will get J-Rock to go real live. Shannon Sharpe had a gun on the table, and it spooked her. So she felt like she had to do whatever it is that he told her to do. Run till that. And I know all my R. Kelly supporters hear that and they understand that and they know that because it was said at the trial and there's transcripts to the to the good on that was actually said at trial. He had a gun. And it made me nervous. So I just did what he told me to do. It's crazy. I just put the link in the chat, J-Rock, if you are there. Like I said, once again, I do want to welcome everybody again tonight to Provoke Thoughts Live. It's Monday night. I'm up in here chilling. Happy belated Easter to everybody. If it is your first time coming in, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If you're rewatching, make sure you like it. Make sure you take your friends. Make sure you share it. Make sure you go on to X and follow me there. And we are going to get it in. I'm going to go ahead and make a comeback. We're going to try to do this thing a little bit different nowadays and try to be a little bit more aware, of, no more babbling off at the mouth. We're gonna talk some things out, and we're gonna talk about it the right way, and we're gonna get to a point. Okay. So what do you think happens now when it comes to, you have, this could be one of those things where he settles and it fades off into the background. It could be one of them things where he don't settle, might have to cough up that 50 million, might have to cough up 5-6 million or whatever. But if that happens and he actually settles, we know that in the eyes of public opinion and in the eyes of some people that'll sit in a jury box, that is an admission of guilt in their mind, not an admission of getting it out the way or, just trying to make it go away. Even though it's not true, I don't need this in the middle of my career, in the path that I'm trying to take, type situations that entertainers are caught up in. They're caught up in situations where, they just needed to go away. And look, right now, Shannon needed to go away. And I'm talking about quick. But my thing is, don't settle. Brother, whatever you do, whatever they say, whatever she willing to take, don't settle for nothing, because they're going to say that you're guilty, and the prosecutor's going to come around and they're going to pick it up. And then the media machine is going to turn against you. They're going to call you a monster. And the worst thing that ever happened to this world and this earth, you're going to be the devil incarnate. Gloria Allred's going to come out. She going to have other females that you messed around with. And they're going to be reading from scripts. It can happen. I've seen it happen too many times. They're going to be reading from scripts and they're going to be trying to cry. And, you know, some of them ain't going to even be able to read it all. And they're going to be, and it's just going to be crazy. If you settle, then you're going to have to settle another one. And another one. And another one. They're going to go all the way back into your Denver Bronco days, brother. And they're going to find females that you met in cities that don't care nothing about you. And they in desperate situations. And they're going to convince these females to come after you for some money. That's generally what happens. That is what happens. And it's so sad. It's so sad. You know, when you experience this 4 times already with Bill Cosby, you know, with R. Kelly, with Weinstein, and, you know, when you've experienced this so many times, you can run the play. Know exactly what they're about to do. You bet not settle. Shay, you bet not settle. You settle, they're coming after you. They're going to come after Ocho Cinco. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. What's going on, J-Rock? How you feeling, man?
What's going on, Provoke Dolls? What's happening?
Man, we got another one. They got another one on the line wiggling.
Why am I not surprised? Even your girl Spitting Fire did a live. She did an impromptu live. She was like on a fast. She wasn't supposed to be back for a while, but I knew once this story broke, she was gonna come out. She was gonna come out and speak on it. And when I haven't even read the whole article on everything on it yet. Once I heard the allegation and everything, I'm like, see. And here's the ironic part, because I already posted that on the chat. But the ironic thing about it is, a lot of these dudes who had a whole lot of shit to say about R. Kelly, now it's all coming back on them too.
Man, buddy, you know, it's crazy. It really trips me out, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, dang, bro, you had a lot to say. You tried to get Timberland to not call that man the king. All type of stuff went out, you know, but see, it ain't even about all of that. You know, I'm not gonna take no R. Kelly vitriol to this man.
No,
I can't.
It's not really about the R. Kelly vitriol. Even though some of the questions he asked on some of the live and certain people in regards to R. Kelly was kind of suspect when he asked. So now it's like, okay. So if you remember, everybody who knows about wrestling, there was a wrestler by the name of Goldberg. And when Goldberg had an undefeated streak, what was his catchphrase? You're next.
Yeah, buddy.
So Shannon, now I'm not gonna put in now. I can't really say this because I haven't really got any proof about it. So you know Shannon has also had a beef with Vlad, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder how much of this is that Vlad had something to do with this. Because I wouldn't doubt it, because it's the same Vlad that been trying to put narratives about R. Kelly, but then got a certain interview that he said he didn't want to play because it wasn't what he thought he should play, because he talked about all kind of conspiracy theory and whatnot. My question to Vlad is it the fact that you didn't want to play it, or you were told not to play it?
Oh, he was show shit told not to play it. He probably got a phone call from Tasha K. Man.
K. And then,
but look,
it's funny that this lawsuit came out, and then you had what Tyrannosaurus Burke had to say recently when she said, "I never said believe all women. I just said believe survivors. I thought survivors should be heard, even if it means to not demonize the other party." This woman was on a docuseries demonizing the whole other party.
Absolutely.
So why wouldn't she say that earlier? But by the time all this was coming out, because she knew if she would have said anything like that, it would kill the momentum of what they were trying to push anyway.
Absolutely, man. Mr. Yellow Beezy, what's going on? See you out there in the chat, man. I see you. So basically, I'm gonna go back over this again, man, because I think that this is the smartest thing to do that these men need to do. But they need to do it preemptively. They don't need it to come out in court and be spin to turn. Because I read this and I understand exactly what happened. This girl was on money, man, from the jump. And they everywhere. From the jump. She was on money. She was on her bag. Sending text messages talking about, I want you to put a dog collar on me around my neck and choke me while you effing me. You feel me? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's not somebody that's sexually assaulted. I know you missed this big juicy ass. $25K for each cheek. Okay.
Now, in case you forgot, I remember what was it? When Snoop was walking at I think it was an award show or an event, and he had like about 3 women on dog leashes, on dog collars, with chains.
Yeah. Yeah, Snoop better watch out. Yes, he better. Okay, we go on in the text message. I had to redo this again because I was caught so off guard and I needed a friend when I was reading it. She said that I want to put my tongue in your bleep hole and then marry you. First of all.
Oh, she want to talk salads.
First of all, bro. Why is marry you and tongue in his booty hole even in the same conversation? What the hell?
That would, now correct me if I'm wrong, that wouldn't be a prerequisite for marriage.
That's kind of like, I can't even take you home to mama with your boo-boo mouth.
Yeah, you ain't using nan toothbrush in my house.
I mean, in that order, man. I mean, look.
You're not using a toothbrush. You ain't any glass you put on your mouth, any mouth.
I'm trying
taking it home. You take it,
bro. I'm trying to be cool because I'm trying to get through at least 45 minutes without using too much profane language. And I'm gonna say this. I'm doing well, bro. But when the 45 minutes
she put her mouth on, she taking it home.
So it goes on to say, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying so hard. But it's right here. It says, text from Gabriella to Shannon Sharpe, August 6, 2024. Now, this was my birthday, and she out here on some nasty on my birthday. That's crazy. They say, so you better crave it, because you're gonna be stuck with me for life after you put this big black baby in me. But you trying to get pregnant and everything, bro. Pregnant. She trying to get the bag. Look, she trying to secure the bag. She like, by any means necessary. She like, if I got to pop one of them come on, Skip, baby's out, then
Preg-
I'm gonna do it. Come on, Skip.
pregnancy, wishbone
Man,
salad dressing.
Why you doing it to yourself, bro? Oh my God, this is crazy. Who is this hooker?
Yeah.
What's happening here, man?
Wishbone salad
Where they
dressing.
meeting?
Yeah,
I think he's met her at the gym. Yeah, I bet you she got her OnlyFans. I bet you cash money. That Gabriella Zuniga got a OnlyFans somewhere out there where she is acting a complete and utter fool. I promise you. J Rock, Yellow Beezy, I promise you. It is an OnlyFans for this chick. Somewhere.
Not only
and she doing
not
some
only
things
not only OnlyFans, but
for the
we
bread.
have to keep
for
in
the
mind
25,000 a cheek she asked this man. Yellow Beezy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I saw you went live, so I was like, man, let me hop on.
Talk to me, dog. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Been in school, doing my work.
J Rock, you still there?
Trying to get the hell out of
I'm
there.
still here. So
just trying to get the hell out of there. That's it.
We got to keep in mind also, not just her OnlyFans.
Y'all still with me, bro? Hey, people in the
Yes.
chat, can y'all hear me just good or anything?
Yes,
anything
I hear you good, Derek.
Ride or something? Because I don't hear my boys.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
But, you hear me?
Let me know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
now.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Cool.
Now,
let me know if we good out there.
The funny part now, not only the OnlyFans part. Let's start even thinking about her dating history. Period. What other circles she been running around? Because we all know if she run up on Shannon,
y'all let people.
Oh, we here.
I'm here, Derek. I ain't went nowhere.
Oh, he dropped out.
Oh, damn it.
So it must have been something on his end. But I can say, but I'll tell you this: we got to keep in mind on this chick's dating history because we have to believe that Shannon Sharpe is not the only high profile dude she rolled up on.
Yeah, it's really not. They just want to use these names so they can get a come up on everything. That's all it is.
Yeah. You saw the comment I put in the chat, right?
Yep, regarding Kels and how they were.
I said, ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what to do, y'all, man? I was having some difficulties. I couldn't hear y'all for nothing.
So, I have to throw out? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I want to know who's gonna be the next domino to fall. I'm gonna throw a name out. Michael Strahan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was doing it too. I remember Michael Strahan doing that shit like yesterday. I'm like, and the woman and Diane told you, man, but you want to push that shit and keep it going. But they gonna learn. All of them gonna learn.
He said they gonna learn today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Eventually, man, you know, they're gonna hear you now, they're gonna feel you later.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because it is a lot of cats that had a lot to say about R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
That's going through a thing right now. You know, you might catch him on the Diddy tape here and there.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna do anything to keep him in there. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. When I was on Spinfire Live, I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, hark. Do I hear a train coming?
Yeah.
I hear
a train coming.
Right now they loading it up. You know, the trucks is coming. You know, with the canisters. You know what I'm saying? And the cars and everything, and they getting it loaded up, man. They about to fire it up in a minute. They about to fire it up for real.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, because you never know who the next one is, man. But you know, you got other cats out here, man, that's done got away with everything, man. Everything. And and I'm talking about in the political sphere and the entertainment sphere, you know, and you know, you hate to say it, but some of these people got the complexion for the protection.
Yeah.
I mean, because that does happen, at the same time, y'all know how I feel about racism in this country. It don't exist like that, but it do exist in other forms, but it ain't rankings and beatings and stuff like that. But you get some prejudices and some biases and some people getting over just because
you got some woke Republicans too, man.
Yeah, just like
we're not woke, but
just like you got DEI, you feel me? So it's both sides of the game, both sides of the game. And like I said, it's just a shame, man. That these dudes get caught up with these little young chicks like this. They don't care nothing about nothing but securing the bag, man. She wasn't worried about nothing but getting that paper, getting to the bag, getting to that man. And if I gotta have your baby, nigga, because we over 45 minutes, we gonna do that.
Yeah. Wonder.
She said, remember, she said, no, she didn't just say baby. She said big black baby.
She wanted a big black baby with a lisp. I'm talking about in straight up tight end material.
Mm-hmm.
So he cried. He come out crying. Oh, that's how he cries.
Talking about the type of baby that's gonna get drafted on Thursday night.
I swear, right out the womb. He gonna get the phone call in the womb. Swear, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't understand how people, when you start look, and they getting lazy with it, man.
Oh man, they getting lazy with everything.
They getting lazy with the accusations and everything.
It's like the same. All it is the same storyline.
It's crazy. It's like at least with Diddy, he did the fool on his own on camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to see him like, oh man, make you lean a little bit, so I'm leaning towards the side, and you might have kind of could have sort of, but at the end of the day, that in and of itself don't make you a all of those things. You know what I'm saying? That in and of itself, if you just be an objective person, you'll realize that that it takes all types of components to make a human being. For real,
all these allegations are lazy. They copy and paste. When you brought up the stuff earlier, and you talked about the gun on the nightstand or the gun on the table or whatever. Everybody, see, y'all need to stop watching What's Love Got to Do with It, and then taking little pieces out from it, and then that's what they've been doing. Because
all they're doing is they recycling shit. They don't have no other alternative but run with just that one story. That's all they got. They don't really have a real allegation against him. No. They just want to keep it going.
No, man, but I'm talking about he just stopped messing with this chick the day after New Year, which means he probably spent New Year's with her, which means he was probably checking for her a little bit. But she kept coming because they said they had been dealing with each other off and on, I'm assuming for like a year and some change. And you sit up here and you wanna, after a year of all of this foolishness, you done sent filth all through text message. And you want to say that somebody took something from you, man?
Man.
For real? 50 meals worth? $50 million worth, huh?
So even Beavis and Butthead is smarter than that.
And that's that goofball lawyer that came after Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
And watch him get arrested. Busby. Watch him get arrested for extortion. Watch.
So,
watch.
So he is turned into Michael Avenatti 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Watch. You don't believe me? Watch.
Yeah.
No, I believe it. He went at Deshaun Watson, tried to go with Jay-Z, now Shannon Sharpe.
Watch.
One thing we know about this dude, he's got a particular type of individual he's going after.
Yeah. Where the bag at? Where the bread at, bro? High profile. Settle for money.
Mm-hmm.
Because Deshaun Watson didn't make no sense.
Yeah. He's taking advantage of his position. His ego is taking him over.
So just because this man could afford a happy ending on a massage, that's coercion. If you took the bread and gave it to him.
Yeah, because it looks like with Tony Busby, it's the 3 B's: bag, bread, and black.
Yep. Watch and see what I don't say is gonna happen to him. You know, and like I said, I feel bad for Shannon Sharpe. Even though I don't line up with him politically, I think he dressed weird as shit and slightly suspect.
Well, Shannon Sharpe, yeah, he wear them tight ass pants.
Yeah, slightly suspect. You know what I'm saying?
No shoes, no socks on, but a shoe.
And,
That ain't how a man dress. That's a woman. That's how a woman dress.
I mean, they got certain shoes, the walking shoes. You can't rock socks.
Yeah,
so, you know what I'm saying. But all the time,
and the Merce. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. These cats is tripping with the Merce. I mean, look, that ain't no Merce, bro. That's a purse. Ain't no way to slice it.
Yeah, I bet Beavis would be like, "No, that's not a purse. That's a Merce. I wouldn't like rock one of those too."
Right. Absolutely insane, man.
Damn, you damn near sound like him too.
Cool.
That's cool, dude. Nope, dumbass.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's good stuff there, man. Hey. But I'm telling you, this is going to be either nothing or something of epic proportions. And I think that this chick is going to get roasted by me when it all comes out. I'm going to get her because I'm smelling some skank juice.
Yeah.
I'm smelling a little skank juice.
But the one thing I can say about this, every time an allegation something like this come up, it almost makes people it starts to make people revisit R. Kelly's situation more and more.
Yeah, because the stuff that they be saying have you like, wait, what? Didn't I hear that? Didn't I hear that before? Like, shoot, for real, like the gun thing is crazy. I'm like, okay, the gun, and it was on the nightstand, and you was scared. I'm like, wait a minute, that's me and Big Val was talking about. He was like, that's Faith Rogers. All day. That's a Gloria Allred special right there.
Oh, we got another ambulance chaser.
I'm like, that's a Gloria Allred special. Like, dude, you got to because you got to have a female and you got to have a dude. In order to, just make it seem like, hey, men and women is upset with this and ain't buying this, and you a monster. So watch, Allred gonna come out.
Hey, you know what else is ironic, J-Rock? Neil got 4 girlfriends, and R. Kelly had more girlfriends, but he's sitting in jail for it.
Yep.
So how the hell Neil gonna have 4 girlfriends, but R. Kelly ain't allowed to have that? The hypocrisy in the industry, man.
It wasn't the industry; it was just the hypocrisy of trying to get one man. Man, they don't care about Neo. Neo is not worth $1.5 billion.
More to R. Kelly, worth more than that now.
And as I say, and counting, because now R. Kelly's got not 1, not 2, not 3, but about 9 milestone anniversaries this year alone.
Yeah.
So now that's gonna tip it over the $1.5 million scale now, $1.5 billion scale now.
Yeah, that's 3. It's 3 of them because you got the self-titled album,
and
then you got the buffet album. No, yeah, 4 of them. No, 5 of them, right? The self-titled album.
Right. You got the self-titled album that came out in 95.
Then you got the TP.
You got the buffet album, which was the 10th anniversary.
TP2.
TP2.com. Silver anniversary. That's silver anniversary of that.
Yeah. Love Letter.
Love Letter. That's 15.
TP3 Reloaded.
20th anniversary.
And then the Trapped in the Closet.
Trapped in the Closet series.
Oh, damn, that's 6.
That's 20. Yeah, that's the 20th anniversary of that. Yep, too.
And then if we're gonna talk about singles, let's talk about the Fiesta single that he did with Jay-Z. Silver anniversary, 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the Download single. Now going 30. You got all that coming out this year. All that. Just this year.
So when it comes to like now, and one of the reasons why I feel like it ain't gonna get too high off the ground with Shannon is possibly his net worth. When you ain't worth so much, they ain't gonna come after you so hard. But he climbing the ladder, and they know it. You know, they know he climbing the ladder. Club Shay is a good show. You know, even though he had Kamala on there, she wouldn't take no liquor. Because she already had some in the car. You know, you didn't ask Trump on there. You know.
You remember over a decade ago, Mike Tyson was in Canada, and this black ass nigga brought up about him saying, "Oh, you're a convicted rapist," and Mike Tyson tore his ass up.
Oh man, that was dope. That was dope. He had that dude scared. He looked like he was gonna pee on himself for real. To be honest with you, that's crazy. But check this out, man. You know we are. Gonna get out of here. I got to get up in the morning. You know, I just wanted to do a little hour talk about this. I was hoping that Vibe would come on because I can't do the lives that long, but I can probably do it more often. So we get it in for about an hour. Act the fool and get the heck, get the heck up off of here. And then that gives people, people like, okay, an hour, I'll watch that. Man, 2-3 hour lives, people ain't finna. They see that and they go right past. Like I'll watch a few minutes. But we're gonna give them something to commit to. We're gonna try something a little bit new this time around. I'm working on a new theme song and all type of stuff, brother. You know what I'm saying? A new look, whatever. And we gonna kick it, man. We gonna get it in there. We gonna have some long lives. I already know how we go. But for the most part, we're gonna try to keep it strategic, keep it pointed. You know what I'm saying? It should be hopefully it'll be some more good R. Kelly news coming up soon.
Yep. Oh yeah, new album. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's coming out on this Rockland thing. So I know Sony gonna try to get a hand on that.
They can't because they removed him from contract.
They be like, damn it, we can't make no money now.
Nope.
Right. So hey,
see, Sony that's them, though. They're not doing nothing but digging themselves a bigger hole. That's all they're doing.
Making a fool of themselves too, but they don't know that though.
And now our very own, what's this about? What's this backlash that Gayle King catching now talking about the whole thing about her going out of space or whatnot?
Oh, a fake ass astronaut, and Wendy's is trolling their ass.
Look, let me tell you something.
I'll tell you, Wendy's is very conservative. They don't play.
They don't do nothing. They ain't do nothing special. You know what I'm saying? They didn't go up there and rescue them people. Now, if y'all would have went up there and rescued them 2 people, then you could have came back talking about, oh my God, and the love, and I just feel so alive. And
Gail had the audacity to say, "Oh, did you ever went to space?" Well, I went to the zoo yesterday, and I became a lion. Shit,
look, you ain't no astronaut, baby. You're an ass. That's all you are.
I'll just say this: I ate a gusher, and now I'm a watermelon.
They should have jettisoned your behind about the pod for what you did to R. Kelly on that interview. For real.
I don't know. I wonder, are they really getting it yet, or are they just go past it through their heads?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, they don't get it. They don't get it, man. You got a whole conservative and a whole liberal side, and the liberals don't understand because it's not. Go ahead. I
kind of feel like Kells was always a conservative type person. I don't know, but the way he says things and when he does interviews,
I think he rode the middle.
But it doesn't matter.
He rode the middle. But on that note, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and check up out of here. All right. And like I said, I'll get on tomorrow. or something like that. You know, it depends on what happens, man. But we go, you know, we're gonna try to keep the content flowing. I ain't gonna unhook my laptop at all from my docking station. We're gonna keep it right here. And you know, I love those who came in. Shout out to Diane, shout out to my man Patrick, shout out to my man Ricky Beatty, shout out to J Rock and my man Yellow Beezy. Always. What?
Yeah. So I guess I need to go ahead dip on out so I can go ahead and catch the rest of these playoffs tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
That's another thing. I gotta see what's going on with that. But on that note, y'all, we up out of here, man. I love y'all to death. And let's go ahead and get this thing over with. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
All right, peace.
Yes, sir.
How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this piece shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit. It's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we can take it and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngers pull their pants up? How long we gonna keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gonna keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beats stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.